Beach Lake Bakery is a family-owned artisanal bakery tucked away in the mountains of the northern Poconos. Owner Brian Woods attended bakery school in Manchester, England when he was 16 years old and has since rediscovered his love of baking European-style breads.
I'd taken a course in Minneapolis, St. Paul on traditional bread making, and I really got interested in half-baked European-style breads. That's when we started the bakery, initially in 1999. We bought an oven, a mixer, and set up a bakery in our basement. We actually only had one customer at the time. We actually sold out the first day we made breads. So we expanded it a little bit. We sold to friends and businesses, and it bloomed. After about 3 years, we ran out of space in the bakery, in the basement, and built the building that we're in now. And we've grown tremendously ever since. We have two areas of baking: traditional European style breads and traditional American pies and cakes and quick breads and things like that. In our breads we try to make European style crusty breads, half-baked breads with different methods of production. The French we do with what they call a poulish, which is an overnight ferment, and the style is definitely European. When we're baking our breads, our main flour is a white flour. It's unbromated, unbleached. In other words, it's untreated. So it's natural flour. There's been no chlorination or bromating done to the flour. There's only certain flours we can use because we have very long fermentation times. The way we do long fermentations, when we mix the doughs, we control the temperature, and we tend to mix on the cool side. And then we let the dough rest for a couple of hours, and we'll make it up into the breads that we're going to make, like rye breads or whole wheat or whatever breads we're doing. And then we'll put it into a retarder overnight. This is a little different from traditional bread making where you'd put it into a warm place to rise. We actually put it into a cold place. That does a couple of things. One, obviously it gives you great flavour and good texture, but also gives you a beautiful looking loaf.
Yeah, we make 6 or 7 different types of loaves. We make approximately 21,000 loaves over the year. We make French baguette, rustic country, which is our signature loaf. It's a white loaf, very airy. Goes with anything that you like to eat. Makes great toast, great sandwiches, panini. We make a traditional rye, which we call our Old World Rye. Our wheat boule, which has a lot of sourdough and wheat flour. And we also do an Italian semolina. We do 2 different shapes on the Italian semolina. One is long like a baguette, and the other is short like a football. And also makes a great sandwich. We make a traditional braided challah, and the same dough we make into a challah loaf. People like that for slicing for sandwiches, as well as French toast. We make focaccia. We call it a fougasse, which is a traditional bread from south of France, from Provence. And we make 3 different types. We do a garlic fougasse, a rosemary fougasse, and a Kalamata olive fougasse. And those are great. They're made with lots of olive oil and sea salt, and they're great to rip apart and eat whatever you want to. Our newest bread was a 3-seed sourdough, and that's made with lots of sour, flax, sesame, and sunflower seeds. And it's a mixture of white and wheat flour. We also do a bread that I call Lisa's sourdough, which is straight sour, very chewy, and also goes with great with cheeses, salamis, cured meats. We do a sourdough baguette, which is very similar to Lisa's sourdough. And we try to make breads that you can add different things to. We'll have similar shapes, sometimes they're a little different. And we do, for example, the rustic country. We'll make 3 different items out of it. We'll also make a ciabatta, and we also make rustic rolls. And those are great for sandwiches and just to serve with a soup.
But on the confectionery side, we're actually traditional American, I think, or Americana anyway. Like we do apple pie, apple crumb pie, blueberry pie, raspberry pies. They're very American I mean, everybody thinks of America, the first thing they think of is apple pie. The apple is made in a way like your grandparents would have made it. They use apples, sugar and cinnamon, and that's basically all there is in the recipe. The pastry we make with butter. When we do blueberry pies, we use wild blueberries, we use raspberries in the raspberry pie. I mean, we actually use the fruits. We don't use any pre-gelatinized starches or canned fruit or bucket fruits. Nothing that's pre-prepared, everything we make here. The same with the cookies. It's basically sugar, butter, chocolate chip cookies, salt and baking powder. Oh, and eggs. So again, we're using good ingredients, and that helps tremendously with the kind of quality you get and taste that you get. The thing we don't use is any preservatives.
We also do a line of cakes. We do chocolate, vanilla, yellow cake, carrot cake cupcakes with cream cheese icing, carrot cakes. We're slowly getting into big cakes. For a while, we just concentrated on the breads. But we've gotten more and more demand for sweets, and we wanted to increase our market. So we added a cake line as well as a croissant line. We never used to make croissant, but we decided to get into the business. So we make plain, we make almond, we make pain au chocolat. We also make fruit and cheese danishes, and cinnamon snails and cinnamon tails and cheese twists. So we do 2 types of muffins right now. And we also make biscotti. We make almond biscotti. And during the winter season, we'll do coconut macaroons and gingerbread people. Big market for that. This is a family business. When we started it up, both of our children were involved. Jamie's, since the last couple of years, been really involved in the company.
I started in the bakery very young. I remember when I was 9, I would help sweep the floor of our basement from the flour. That was my job. And then when they built the bakery, of course, I was insistent that we had a little shop that I could run, entrepreneurial as a 9-year-old. I'm very passionate about what we produce. You have people who are passionate about eating good food. It brings the community together in our little shop.
We are rather a unique business because, first of all, we're only open to the public on Saturdays. The other thing we do, in addition to being open Saturdays here in the shop, is we do several farmers markets.
For more information, visit beachlakebakery.com.